Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. It's back. My favorite multi-complication and the best for the money, albeit too big for my wrist, but this monster is the Zenith Pilot Doublematic. Launched as part of a rejuvenated Zenith Pilot collection in 2012, it packs all the action. It's like a movie that has a 20-minute ninja fight scene, a car chase, an explosion, superpowers. All action all the time with a double date, an El Primero chronograph, a power reserve, an alarm, and a world time. 45 millimeters almost doesn't seem like enough. In steel, it's 45 millimeters in diameter, 15.7 millimeters thick, 52.7 from lug to lug. It's got a broad and proportional 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. It's a good looking watch, but it is too big for my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see the lugs are a little bit over the edge. If your wrist is even a bit larger than mine, it's going to work. So 17 centimeter circumference wrists and up, and you are big enough to ride the roller coaster. And what a roller coaster. We've got high-grade, large, rectangular scale alligator leather. It is sort of semi-gloss black with a contrasting stitch. Most pilots' watches get a contrasting stitch on calfskin. This is gator. Gator is better, more expensive, and lasts longer. In profile, we have edges that are shear cut and lacquered for refinement, and Zenith's modern tradition of lining the bottom of its leather straps with rubber is in evidence here, and that's great because it feels fantastic, and it also prevents the aging of the strap, as you can just wipe down any sweat, moisture, heat, or grit, and it won't affect the leather. We've got a full clasp. Press both triggers, it pops open. Double folding. You can see inside we have spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps, which will never wear down, so it will be forever snappy. You can see it's got a combination of satin and polish externally with the Zenith Store logo, and we'll roll around to the lugs. You can see there's a little bit of a bevel on the side of the lugs, some satin on the top for contrast, squared off and angled ends, and then the mid case on both sides polished. You can see the Zenith Store logo on several of the crowns here. We've also got a bezel that's got a little vertical facet, a conical profile, terminating in a dramatically boxed and cambered sapphire. The better to tower over all of these complications and coaxial hands, while giving it a little bit of a vintage plexi look. Take a quick look at those numerals on the dial. Those are applique. Like a Journe sports watch, they're not transferred lacquer or transferred lume. They're solid blocks of lume that have been placed in hollows on the dial. And the lume on this watch is quite good. Take a quick look. You can see that the chronograph second sand is lumed, and all the numerals, which you'll note again are three-dimensional, glow quite brightly. On the dial, what do we have here? Well, we got a world timer. We've got an alarm. We've got a double-digit date. Now, it's approaching 10 a.m., so I'm going to demonstrate that we have a flush disc double-digit date with a quick set. Now, that's the weird thing about a Zenith. The date sets on a traditional El Primero, if you pull the crown out all the way, that's actually where the date sets. Now, the intermediate position is where you set the times. Now, it's 10 a.m., and you put your current city at the top. So I'm in Philadelphia. I'm going to put New York up there. And so I could see in New York, it's 10 a.m. because we have these 24 reference cities for the world's 24 principal time zones. I'm in Philadelphia, that's New York time. And then we have this 24-hour reference ring. And as the time advances, clockwise, you could see the reference ring time moves counterclockwise. And so it becomes very easy to read the time almost anywhere in the world. So in New York right now, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I could see in Bangkok, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I can see in Paris. Now we're looking at the evening, and it's going to be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We have a semicircle in black that represents roughly the places where it's night, and a semicircle in silver white that represents roughly the places where it's day. Very easy to read. Auckland, 6 a.m., Anchorage, 9 a.m., very intuitive. It's the Louis Cotier style radial world time system. Now look at the hands at center. You can see they're beautifully brushed for a matte look. The dial is also matte black with a lightly frosted grain to resist glare. We have an El Primero chronograph, so calibrated caliber 4046, 41 joules, bidirectional automatic winding, the famous 36,000 vibration per hour El Primero movement, first launched in 1969 when it was the world's first automatic integrated high-beat chronograph. So it does have that 10 beat per second double-step cadence, which is why it can resolve smaller increments of time than a standard mechanical chronograph, and also the chronograph's seconds hand seems to glide a little bit more smoothly. 50 to 52 hour power reserve. You can see right here we've got a rather handsome automatic chronograph. That's not always the case. Some automatic chronographs are kind of homely. Check out a Lemania 5100. This is actually quite good. You can see most of the functions of the chronograph, including the super crisp column wheel that makes operating the pusher a pleasure, and then the lateral clutch, which is traditional and inherently beautiful. We have both polished and blued screws here, and they have different functions. So blued screws on this movement tend to relate to adjustment to the mechanism. Polished screws tend to adjust to, or tend to signify something that's fixed in place. So blued screws generally for adjustment, polished screws generally for fixing things in place. That's a little signal to the watchmaker. We have engine turning, we have stripes, we have satination, solarization, and polish. It's a mostly machine-finished movement, but an attractive one. 50 meters, water-resistant, more than a standard dress watch. I still don't recommend you swim with the Doublematic. It's a sports watch, but not that kind of sports watch. So we've got a couple of things going on here. And there is an on-off toggle for the alarm. You can see that the alarm has an on-off toggle. There's a trigger coaxial with this crown that allows you to set that. And then you actually wind using this crown. You wind the alarm barrel, which is separate from the mainspring. There's a 50-hour power reserve for the watch when it's fully wound. I'll demonstrate the alarm in action now. See, we have this color-changing animated power reserve for the alarm. And it goes from green to red as it orbits that little center. And then you can rewind it using this crown right here. And you see as I rewind it, it goes from red back to green. A very cool watch. Like I said, action-packed, so many useful features. It's the ultimate travel companion with a chronograph for timing your flight, world time for keeping track of your time zones, and an alarm to wake you up for that red eye so you can return home. All in steel, it's everyday durable and one of my all-time favorite watches. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.